Hi there, welcome to the Kenwood 30-Minute Mix. I'm Monique Bradley and today I'm in the kitchen with a very, very busy nutritionist, published author and supermum. This is Claire Turnbull. Hi Claire.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. What are we doing today?
We're going to make 3 quick and easy recipes because I know that a lot of people that are trying to eat healthy are short on time. So we're going to solve a lot of your problems today and come up with some ideas for lunches, dinners and having a sweet treat as well.
And the great thing is because we are live filming this right now, if you've got any questions while you're watching through whichever page you're watching on, send your questions through. I've got a computer here right beside me, so send those questions through and I'll shoot them to Claire. So if you're having any problems with your nutrition, you see something you like here, send us your questions through. We're happy to help. Okay, Claire, what's the first recipe today?
The first recipe is an Asian slaw.
That looks absolutely delicious. It looks like all the colours of the rainbow, which I believe is so good for our body, right?
Really, really good for your body. And
Awesome.
It's super, super fast and quick and easy to make. And I think at this time of year when salad is incredibly expensive and you can buy a tiny little ice gem for, you know, a lot of money, then making a slaw is a really, really affordable way to eat well.
Such a good idea. Or you can head to your farmers markets in the weekend and buy whatever's seasonal and fresh, right?
And this is something that you can adapt and have, you know, basically whatever you've got in your fridge, you can put that in. So basically what we're going to start off with is by just blending up some herbs. So we're making this in the food processor because it makes it so much quicker, because essentially if you chop a lot of vegetables by hand, other than the fact it takes forever, and you grate them by hand, they go soggy. And when you're using a blade that's going around really quickly, it chops it very, very nicely, and it'll mean that it'll last for a lot longer.
Gotcha. It's going to save your knuckles too, because there's nothing worse than trying to grate stuff in the grater and your knuckles end up in the way. No, we don't want that.
No, we don't want any of that. So basically what we've got is some coriander here. So because I'm going with that Asian theme, that's why we're using coriander, but you could very, very equally well use any herb that you like, because I know that coriander is kind of polarizing. Some people love it.
Actually, I was just going to ask, I know that there's a lot of people over the years who have asked me, oh, Monique, when you're cooking, I don't want to use coriander. What's another great option?
Yeah, parsley. Super cheap, super cheap. So the great thing here is you can either use the pulse function or you can control the speed of it. But I like it. I like my herbs nice and chopped. So we're just going to take that blade out now and replace it with these slicing blades. So this food processor comes with a whole range of different slicing blades and grating blades, and I'll show you these here. So what you've basically got here is the option of doing a chunky grate and a chunky slice, or a fine grate and a fine slice.
So this is your chunky one right here.
Yes.
So it's slightly bigger as well.
Yeah.
And that's your finer one. So would you use that for carrots or something like that?
You can, whatever you like, really. So if I'm doing something for my kids where they don't like big chunks of vegetables, I use the fine blade.
Gotcha.
I quite like a chunky slaw, so that's what we're going to use today. Now, both of these blades are reversible, so depending on which way you put them up, depends on whether you're using the slicing blade or the grater.
Oh, wow.
See?
So that's your grater on that side, and then that's your slicer on the other.
That's right.
Oh, that's so
it saves space. It saves space.
Oh, that's awesome. And it also comes in the container too, which I think is genius. So storage container. Check it out. Amazing.
I know, because nobody likes to have these kind of discs just kind of hanging around their cupboard and falling out. So the storage container is fantastic. So what we're going to do now is just pop that on there, and then anything that needs slicing, we're going to put in there. So I've got some spring onions. We'll pop them in first.
Delicious.
Of all. Actually, I'm going to put this. The good thing about this is you can, depending on the size of whatever you've got to put in there, you can either use, like these are quite fine, so we'll put them in there. But if you've got a big chunky carrot, you can just kind of take that out and use the bigger piece, as you'll see later.
So already Jessica Montier has said, I love Asian slaw. Hi Jessica, welcome to the show. James Byron King said, okay, let's go. So I think there's a bit of a challenge on to see if you can get these done in 30 minutes. And also good morning to Tanya Martin, who's watching. Great to see you. Christine Edlin watching from Wellington. I love that you're on the stream this morning. Remember too, because we're live, if you've got any questions, send them on through.
Yes.
So capsicums as well. You know, some people not so great with capsicums. Is there another?
Them out, honestly. The good thing is you can whatever you want in here, and whatever seasonal. Capsicums are sometimes cheap as chips, sometimes super expensive.
Yes.
So just whatever you like using, really. But look how quick that is.
I love that. Now today you're making this recipe in bulk, am I right? So you're making quite a big lot?
Yeah.
So how long, so if I know I'm thinking about my own meal prep for lunches and things like that, this is an ideal recipe for that.
Yeah.
But how long is this going to actually last in my fridge?
This will last you easily for 4 days. Yeah. If you made a coleslaw by hand, I know, if you made a coleslaw by hand, it would not last you for 4 days. At all, but because it's being so finely sliced and much quicker than you would do by hand, it basically it just stops it going soggy and will last a lot longer. So I've just put some white cabbage in there, and next I'm going to put some red cabbage. But again,
so good for you.
Yeah, sometimes red cabbage is really expensive, and sometimes it's a lot cheaper.
So what about absolutely? So what about some of the ingredients? Like, can you use, say, you probably wouldn't put? Would you put a beetroot in here?
Oh, absolutely. So beetroots are a nightmare. I mean, if you've ever...
Yes, I've tried, right? Yeah, I have.
Beetroot by hand, bleeding everywhere. They'll be like, oh, it stains everything.
Stains your skin,
Stains
everything.
The fantastic thing about chopping a beetroot in the food processor is the fact that you don't get a lot of that juice going everywhere, because the blade's going around so fast, you just don't get all the mess.
That's so cool. Now, one of the things that I did notice when there's not a lot of moisture in here.
No.
How is that possible? Because normally if I'm making something like this, I end up with a lot of moisture if I'm doing it by hand.
Yeah, and that's just, again, because it's being chopped so quickly.
Wow, so that means too it won't end up really soggy, which is what we don't want.
So if you look here, I'll just empty this out into this bowl. So we've got the layers there.
Oh, delicious. Oh, that's so nice.
So what we'll do is we'll just put the scrape the herbs out, and then I'm going to use the grater. So if you were making this for 2 people or just for dinner that night, you basically probably could do the whole thing in one go. Because I'm making this in bulk, I am actually going to do it in 2 lots. So now I'm going to swap this blade over. So all I'm simply doing here is going from the slice to the grate, right? Put the lid back on, and now we're going to do our carrots, all right? So I'm literally just going to pop those in there. Look at this.
Excellent. And Mirza, I hope I said that right, has just said, I've got the same Kenwood as well. It's so versatile. I totally agree. Oh. I watched you doing some recipes the other day, and I can't believe all the things you can do just with one unit.
I know. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, if you're going to get something, you want it to make your life easier. And the good thing is this savoury, sweet, you can make all sorts of different things. And again, because of the different kind of blades, you can make it to your taste, chunky,
so good.
Crunchy, whatever you like.
Wow, delicious.
So there we go. Now, look at that. That is the difference between, it's not wet at all, is it?
Oh, that's...
It's not. I know. So the other thing is cheese.
That's amazing.
A lot of people buy grated cheese.
Oh, but it still tastes amazing.
This actually grates cheese really, really well and doesn't all stick together.
I never would have thought of putting cheese in a processor like that.
You can do chunky, you can do fine, but it also comes like with a blade for Parmesan.
Wow. For Parmesan. My goodness.
Who doesn't love a bit of Parmesan?
Oh, I know,
Yeah,
right.
so that's basically, I'll just get my tongs and make that a little bit easier. If I'll show you in the bowl there. Can you see that? It's beautiful colours, making a mess everywhere as I do. So again, this is a chunkier style of coleslaw. And what I'm going to put onto there, I'm just going to move that a little bit, is I'm going to put it into a lunchbox. So what I do basically, and I do this literally on a Sunday pretty much every week, and I make a slaw because this is nice and dry. Pop it on there, and then I'm going to add, for a little bit of excitement, a little bit of edamame beans, for a bit of extra protein, a few peanuts for a bit of extra flavour, and then basically you can make 5 of those, line them up, and you've got lunch all week sorted.
Yeah. For the week, for you, for the kids, whatever. So easy. Now, Denise Kennedy just messaged in and said, oh my goodness, that was so fast.
I know, super fast, right? And then all you do is basically find some protein to go on top of it. So it might be some leftover chicken from a roast chicken last night, bit of steak, whatever, or boiled egg, bit of salmon, tuna, chickpeas, whatever. And that means you can kind of make it any way you want. With dressing, so we're sharing 2 dressings with you here today. So this is an Asian dressing and a tahini yogurt dressing. Just add the dressing as you go, right?
Excellent. I was just going to say, would you put it on before you store it away in your fridge for the week? No.
Don't put it on and expect it to last 5 days and email me and say it's gone soggy. It will go soggy if you put the dressing on. The other thing to do is this. This is the magic.
Yes, now this is a great tip. If you take nothing else away from today's live, this is the tip you need.
Yes.
In fact, you will get heaps from today.
Yeah, so paper towel is basically what you do to stop it going at all soft throughout the week is you just basically put a piece of paper towel on it and then when you put the lid on, and that will absorb any moisture throughout the couple of days it's in the fridge.
That's amazing.
And I do the same with all sorts of other lunchbox items. I actually wrap them in a piece of paper towel and it absorbs the moisture.
Kids sandwiches, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Easy as
Nothing
that.
worse than soggy food.
No, nothing worse than soggy food, and it's all the expense of just one piece of paper towel.
Oh, I love it. So what do you guys think of that recipe? I think it's fantastic. Now, where are we going to find the recipes from today's live stream?
So they're all on the Kenwood website and you'll be able to find them on our Facebook page too.
Excellent. So if you want that recipe, make sure you check out the website, check out the Facebook page, whichever page you're watching on, that recipe will be shared. But because you guys have joined us for today's live stream, we have a very special offer for you. Let's take a look at that right now. For a very limited time, if you head to the Kenwood-newzealand.com, that's your URL for the website there, use the coupon code 30MINMIXNZ. Now, this is for online-only sales, and you'll receive 20% off selected Kenwood food processors. But remember, it is only for a limited time, so we do want you to hurry up and go and order yours now and take advantage of that special offer. This is the unit we're actually using today, so everything you see here on screen, this is all part of your set. You will love it because there's so much you can do. It's the Multi-Pro Sense food processor, FPM 810. That's what you're looking for when you head to the website. This is the one you want. Everything you see there, and remember, for that limited time, you will get that very special offer. Let's take a look at that one more time. 20% off anything. Remember, Kenwood-newzealand.com, and there's your coupon code, 30MINMIXNZ, for 20% off the selected Kenwood food processors. All right, Claire. I am so excited. Great to see so many of you on today's live stream. Denise Kennedy said, my old Kenwood is still going after 32 years.
I know, and that's the good thing. At the end of the day, when you buy something for your kitchen, you want it to last. And a lot of things don't these days, and these are fantastic. And like you said, a lot of people have that story that when they buy a Kenwood food processor or a mixer, that they last for a long time. So that's the great thing about buying something that's going to last.
That's right. Emma just messaged in and said, you said it right. I do lots of cooking and baking with it as well.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different things you can do, and I'm a big fan. Get it out, and for me, it's always on a Sunday, and I'll get the slaw going, make a couple of different things all at the same time, and then you've got your meals done for the week.
Excellent. So that's 5 days of food prep done in just a couple of minutes. So that's fantastic. What's the next recipe you have for us?
It is my 15-minute green pea and leek soup, which is amazing.
That looks absolutely delicious. I can't wait. But how can you cook soup in 15 minutes?
Well, it's only got a couple of ingredients. That's the first thing. And nice. We're doing the prep super fast. So this soup, basically, I worked out that with just a leek and onions and peas and stock, it's absolutely fabulous. And you can basically...
Is that it?
Yeah, that's literally it. Yeah, easy as that, right? Okay,
goodness.
I know, amazing. So first of all I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of olive oil into a pan to get heating because it's that quick.
Excellent.
Just need a tiny bit in there. And then we need to do our prep. So all we're going to do is finely slice a leek and an onion. Now you can do this by hand, but again that takes too long, so we're not going to do that.
Far too long. Nobody's got time for that.
Now I'm not going to bother washing this because it's just vegetables that have been in there. Excellent. So I'm going to start off just by basically slicing up our leek. So again, I've got the chunky blade in there.
I'm sorry, you're putting the whole thing in there like that?
Exactly. Let's watch.
Stop it. That is insanely cool. Now, wow. All right.
Done.
I seriously need to upgrade. If I tried to do that with my food processor, which is not very good, by the way, so I have to upgrade to this. My food processor would be moving all over the bench. How did that stay in one place?
It's the rubber feet on the bottom.
Oh,
yes,
right.
It is the rubber feet at the bottom. And one thing you've got to be mindful of, which I wasn't there a little bit, is making sure that you whatever you're putting there is about the same width at the top and the bottom as your funnel.
Oh, that's a great tip, actually. Now, speaking of which, Maisie Porter just messaged and said, love the paper towel idea. We'll definitely be trying that. I totally agree. And Denise Kennedy said, I love that the idea that you can do cheese in here because, of course, the cheese wouldn't stick together.
No. So the main thing to do if you're doing cheese is make sure that you put it in first. So I actually make coleslaw with cheese, but you need to do the cheese first before the blade is wet.
Ah,
Obviously,
great idea. Another good tip there.
Yeah. Full of good tips today.
I know you are.
Sunday, right?
Okay, so leek straight in there. What if somebody's not a fan of leek in my house?
You can just do just an onion, because leeks are, again, cheap at the moment, but can be expensive. So you can just do just pure onions if you like.
Oh, so like a French onion soup.
Oh, delicious.
But fast and easy. Delicious.
I know. So just make sure that the size of your vegetable is going to fit through there. And then just keep popping through. You don't cry.
I know, I was just going to say, I love this because you've cut that and you've done it so fast I'm not crying.
I know. Often doesn't happen. Everyone's a crier with onions, aren't they, right? So literally that's all done. And that is much quicker, much easier than if you ever did it by hand. And it's nice and finely sliced, right? So if you just look at that in there.
Amazing.
Nice and finely sliced. So all I'm going to do is pop that into a sizzling pan.
Perfect.
There. Oh, we've got the sizzle.
Nice.
Got the sizzle.
I'm actually super impressed. The other week I made French onion soup and it took me about an hour just to cut the onions because I was cutting them by hand and crying and cutting and crying.
No,
so
never do that again.
Got time for that. No, never again.
So all we do basically to make this a 15-minute soup is soften those for about 5 minutes. And then when they're softened, I'll just do it now. I've just got some warm stock in here. So imagine these were softened. Got some warm stock in there. You can use whatever stock you like, really.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and then I've just got some peas here. Now, these peas have just been defrosted to make it quicker. If you put them in frozen, it'll still work. But basically, it just makes it quicker. Then all you do, literally, is leave that for 5 minutes to bring to the boil.
Yes.
And I've got one that I've made earlier.
Well,
just to make it easy for us. It is just like television. But this is going to make it easy for us to...
That's so great.
I'm just going to move that out the way.
James Byron King just messaged in and said, awesome, thank you, ladies. I'm glad you're liking this. Excellent.
Making it quick and easy, right?
Yeah.
So the next thing, what we're going to do now is use another attachment that comes with the food processor.
Right.
So this is the jug. It's a glass jug. And basically, the advantage of the glass is that it is heat resistant. It's not going to stain. So if you did... you know when you use do something like turmeric, or you've got
which goes everywhere,
everything,
and it stains everything.
It stains everything, or even bologneses or tomatoes and oil. When you do that,
yes.
a plastic container will never be the same again.
No.
The glass means that it's actually going to you can put it in the dishwasher, easy to clean.
Oh, that's so good.
Heat resistant. So
now I was just going to ask on that point. All of the blades they go into the dishwasher as well.
Yeah, super quick.
Just getting
we don't
better
have time
and
to do washing, do we? No. So the good thing with this is that the bottom of it, and I'm just going to look myself which is it works the opposite way to what you think, is that you can take it off and clean it, right? Because you don't want bits of soup.
No, you don't. So nice and easy to clean as well.
Yeah, make sure it's on nice and tightly at the bottom so we don't get soup all over our faces,
that's right?
And then I've got to make sure that I put it on the right way.
So that just locks in nice and safe.
Yeah. All like that.
So good.
So then what we're going to do is take that off there.
That's a decent sized jug as well, because a lot of blenders and mixers don't have a lot of space. So if you are doing something like a bolognese sauce or something like that, you can actually make it in quite a big quantity.
Yeah. And one thing I actually make in here is I make like banana ice pops for my little boy and freeze them into little ice cream scoops.
Cute. Yeah, so good for smoothies for the family, for breakfast in the morning.
Exactly. So all we're going to do is just pop the soup into the food processor. I'm going to brave pouring it in a minute.
I love it. And Judy Green just said, I love that the jug is heat resistant, so it's really good for hot sauces. Absolutely. Yes. I love that too. So good. And Paul O'Regan just said, oh, that looks yummy.
I know, it is. And the fact that it can be made, there we go.
It's just like being in your own kitchen at home, right? We all do that, really.
I know, we do all do that. And I can find the lid. So then all we're going to do in there, and then I will just make sure it's on.
That is so good. Now, if you tried that with any other jug like that, it would be a mess. It would explode. Having tried that the hard way myself, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you can use the pulse function. The main thing to keep this looking nice and green is to not overcook the peas, okay?
Of course.
If you overcook the peas, you'll get a brown Mushy soup.
Clean up the bench.
Yeah, keep it going. So if you don't want a green mushy soup, just put the peas in. Peas, I mean, I eat them frozen. You don't need to cook them to death at all. Just pop them in, bring it to the boil, and then it'll be good to go. And that is as easy as that, right?
Now that's great. If you're at home and you're wanting a really fast and really nutritious lunch, you've made that super quick.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is I've come up with the most genius way of freezing it. And I freeze it in these little, I'll show you here, got a bit of cabbage in it, but I freeze it in these little silicone trays, and we've actually got some already.
Shall I grab it out of the freezer?
Yeah, so these silicone trays, I got this tip from when I was making baby food, and an ice cube basically was far too small, because I've got a 9-month-old at home, and when I was making these things, we made them into individual little.
This is genius, Claire.
Because you basically just put them out, and then you can just put them into a bag in the freezer, and then depending on how much you want, take 1, 2.
That's great. Really good for portion control as well.
Super good for portion control. And I think one of the mistakes people make with soup is that they freeze it in a huge block, and then
I've always done
my
that.
goodness,
I never thought of doing it like
takes
this.
so long
It's
to
really
actually to defrost the
certainly
stuff.
does.
I know. The other thing with this soup is that people might not realise about peas is peas are incredibly high in protein. So a cup of peas has 8 grams of protein, which is similar to a large egg.
Really?
I know. So it will be a filling soup, because sometimes a plain vegetable soup is a bit. Yeah. You can add chickpeas, you could add something to add more protein.
So good. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering what it's like. I'm a real foodie, so, you know, the pressure's on.
I can take the pressure.
That's amazing. Now, you haven't even added any salt or pepper or anything.
No, and I've actually used reduced salt stock, because some of the stocks are incredibly high in salt, and in New Zealand we have way too much salt, so always use reduced salt stock.
Seriously, you guys need to try this. Now, where can they get the recipe, Claire, if you've just joined us on the live stream?
Yeah, you can get it on the Kenwood website or on the Kenwood New Zealand Facebook page.
Excellent. Now, if you have joined, welcome to the kitchen. I'm Monique Bradley. I'm here with super mum, published author and very busy nutritionist. This is Claire Turnbull. We are trying to make 3 recipes in 30 minutes, and it's going to give you a heap of meal prep opportunities there as well. So the first recipe we've done today was that amazing Asian
slaw. Yes, easy.
And now we've just done the pea and leek soup, which seriously, 15 minutes. Amazing. And you've got one more recipe to share as well.
Yes, we've got some carrot cake bliss balls.
Oh, sounds delicious.
I know, yeah.
But if you have just joined the live stream, we've got a special offer to show you guys as well. For a very limited time only, if you head to the website kenwood-newzealand.com, for a short time only, you can use that coupon code 30MINMIXNZ, and you'll receive 20% off selected Kenwood food processors, but only for a limited time, remember that. Now, let me give you an example of what you could grab for yourself. This is the set we're using today. It's the Multi-Pro Sense food processor, FPM810. Sounds amazing. It is a dream in the kitchen. You can do so much with it, whether you need it for maybe to help you make the fast and easy Asian style slaw like we've made earlier, which will be enough food prep for 5 days to make your life a little bit easier. Maybe you want to make smoothies for the kids, or maybe you want to use it to help make some bliss balls like we're just about to do. You can do it all with that set, but remember, Kenwood-newzealand.com, 30MINMIX is your coupon code, limited time offer there, 20% off selected Kenwood food processors. All right, we are super excited because everyone loves dessert, right? I don't know about you guys, but I love dessert, but I love to make sure that every mouthful counts. That's really important to me. Yeah, it is. I don't want to waste calories on bad food and bad coffee. I want good food that's going to help my body. And this is a really good recipe, Claire. Do you want to tell everybody what you're making?
Yeah, so these are my carrot cake bliss balls. Now, what's great about these is they've got vegetables in them, which for me makes me happy. Oh, wow. They honestly taste just like carrot cake, and they don't have any added sugar in the form of honey or brown sugar or anything like that. They are sweetened with dates, so a little bit does go a long way. They freeze really well. The other thing with these is they are incredibly easy to make nut free. So some bliss balls don't really work that well with no nuts in them, but these can actually work incredibly well with no nuts. You can just use all seeds, because a lot of schools, I know that I often get asked for nut-free recipes, schools, daycares, and obviously if you've got an allergy or anything yourself. So these are very, very easy to make completely nut-free.
And really good for the kids, but simple enough that they can actually make it themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So my little boy, who's 4, Always, and he does all the grating in our house, and whenever,
cute.
yeah, because these things are the safety features mean that they can't, stick their hands in or anything else like that.
So important.
Very, very important. So what we're going to start off by doing is actually grating some carrot in here. So this time we are going to use the fine grating blade. So that's this one here, the fine grating blade there, and that just basically allows not to get big, massive chunks. If you like chunks of carrot in your carrot cake, then feel free to go for the other one. But
I think most people would like it quite fine.
Yes,
really.
exactly. But this just shows that you can actually have the different functions. So all I'm going to do, pop my lid on there, get it going.
So Sam just said, bliss balls. I know, right? Everybody loves bliss balls, but they can be so expensive when you buy them. So this is much more cost effective.
They are crazy expensive actually, and you only get a couple at a time.
Anne Young just messaged in and said, "Hi, Claire from Palmerston North." Hi.
Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and if you have just joined the stream, because we're live right now, you can ask questions. Feel free to ask Claire about anything we're making today, and all of the recipes that we're making will be available on the Kenwood New Zealand website. So keep an eye out for them, and they'll be shared in social media pages as well.
Yes, you'll be able to get them everywhere you look, basically.
Excellent.
Now look at that, how fine that is. So that's a beautifully fine shredded carrot. So if you've also are making a mince or a bolognese for little ones, where they basically get a bit fussy, or actually not little ones, a lot of men actually that I hear that don't like their veggies and things. If you do it really fine, then basically it just kind of breaks down. So we'll pop that into a bowl. So that's our carrot all ready to go. And then all we're going to do is put our nuts and seeds in. Now I am today going to use nuts and seeds, but you can totally just use nuts or seeds. So I'm just putting a few almonds in there. They could be replaced by seeds, and sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds work really well as the base of bliss balls because they blend up really nicely. Now, the good thing with a decent food processor is grunty, and it's not going to break by putting nuts in it, because some of these ones get a good hammering. This has got our rubber feet on the bottom to hold it stable. And
so does that mean, if you can use nuts in this, does that mean this would be good for making nut butter and things like that too?
Yes.
Because that can be so costly as well.
Oh, absolutely. So if you like almond butter, again, another thing that a lot of people struggle with is not being able to put nuts in their kids' lunchboxes. Yes. So you can make seed butters, pumpkin butter, sunflower seed butter.
Oh, delicious.
I know, amazing. So it's going to get noisy.
Yes. Really good question from Marie O'Donoghue, who just asked, can babies under 12 months have seeds?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
Well, yes, but babies under 12 months can have seeds, yes, but in the appropriate form. So basically with nuts and seeds, it's really important that they have them in the first 12 months of life, but they need to be in a very, very smooth form. So,
got you, like a nut butter or something.
So when you're testing a baby to check that they're okay with peanut butter, or seed butter, what you actually do is you rub a little bit around their gums at around the 6-month mark, rub a bit around their gums. If there's no reaction, add a little bit into their food the next meal, and then if there's no reaction, add a little bit into their food in the next meal. And if you've done 3 tests like that, then there's basically no issue and you can carry on.
Great.
But obviously little seeds. I mean, my 9-month-old hasn't even got any teeth. I think he's getting them at the moment.
Okay.
So he definitely couldn't be crunching through these, but you can blend them down into the food. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So we've basically got our seeds. Now I like this chunky, okay? I don't like my bliss balls like pureed. Yes. So I'm leaving them chunky. You can keep it going to make it a little bit chunky if you want. Right. The next thing I'm going to pop into there is my coconut.
Oh, so you're popping it into the recipe, because often bliss balls are coated with coconut.
Yeah, and they've got, you're popping it in, and we're also going to have some on the outside. Or you can coat them with nuts, whatever you want to put. Some spices, that's the magic mix for the carrot cake bliss balls. You need those spices in there. And then next we're going to put them dates in. Now, often bliss balls, when you have recipes, say that you're going to use mandula dates. Now, mandula dates cost 30 arms and 30 legs. They are so expensive. So I'm like, those things are so delicious and so expensive. I am never putting them in a food processor, right, and blend them down. So I just use normal date that costs $2.50 a bag, but you just soak them a little bit in some boiling water, okay, so that just kind of softens them a bit. And then obviously the food processor is nice and grunty, so it'll do the rest of the work for you.
I read in some recipes that you're supposed to soak them overnight. Do you need to do that here?
Oh, there's no time for overnight in my life.
Oh, right.
No.
Perfect.
Just put boiling water. You can just put them in the microwave for a minute or two if you need to. And then basically I'm just going to put my some carrots in there, depending on your preference.
Excellent.
And a bit of vanilla extract. Carry on. Yeah.
Right, we've got a couple of questions come in. India Stockman has just said, what actually are bliss balls? How would you turn them in?
Oh,
delicious snacks.
Yeah, delicious snacks. It tends to be a base of a dried fruit and a nut or a seed.
Right.
That's essentially what they are. They've become, there's so many different types though these days, but yeah, they are.
And Angela Marie Hodson just said, hi Claire, I love using my Kenwood food processor. I love it. And has also said, thanks for the new ideas. I would like to know what I could add to replace dates.
In this probably would work really well would be dried apricots. Again, soak them. That's all.
It's a great idea. Could you use maybe cranberries, dried cranberries, goji berries?
Yes, you could, but they don't blend up very well because they're quite dry fruits. So you want something that's going to go soft because it's actually the soft fruit that kind of blends it together.
Great.
So if I get a little spoonful of this here, and then all you do is you get little round balls of it, and I'm just going to coat. I'll just move that
out of the way for you?
Yeah, and then we're going to just get balls here like this, and then you just coat them in whatever you want to, basically. Now, if you want to freeze these, you can basically put them on a baking tray with greaseproof paper and put them.
Good idea.
Yeah. So if you freeze them, and I've had people do this before, if you freeze them next door to each other or kind of layer them on top and then wonder why they all stick together.
That's why.
That's why. So basically, you need to freeze them separately. So that they don't stick together, and then you can put them in a container all together. Yeah.
Sue Ross just messaged in and said, I loathe coconut. What could I use to replace it?
In this, I'd probably...
Or can I do it without, she said?
Yeah. Just do it without. I just add more seeds, basically.
Great.
That would work equally well. The main thing with bliss balls of any description is that you've just got to get the texture right for your taste, really. So with this, you basically, if the mixture is too wet, you could add a few more seeds. If it's too dry, then just add a splash of water. Easy as that.
Just water?
Yeah, just water.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know.
So with something like this, could you also push it down into a like a silicone mold and make it as a slab, like a snack?
Absolutely. You can easily do any of those things. And I think it's just getting ideas for the fact that vegetables can work well in some sweet items. And it's, again, prepping things in advance and saving yourself time and money, because at the end of the day, one of the main things about a lot of healthy food when you buy it is you're paying someone a lot of money to do the prep. Whereas if you have got yourself into a good routine, make Sundays your day. That's for me. That's what I do. And just kind of get yourself organised and save yourself a little bit of time for the week ahead. Basically.
Linda Paris just said, yum, these look great. They are great.
They are. Thank you.
So good for you. Now, the recipes are currently on the Kenwood website.
Yes.
Excellent. And they're going to be shared out through social media as well. So we've made 3 recipes today and just on 30 minutes. Well done, Claire. You rose to the challenge. Oh. You've managed to do it. And you've got meal prep for probably at least 5 days there, right?
Oh, easily, yeah. And that's the great thing about getting yourself organised is that you don't have to think about it again. You can just get on with the rest of your life, because you don't want to have to be thinking about food all the time.
That's
with
true.
A bit of prep and organisation, you can,
So how many bliss balls will you make from this recipe?
Oh, anything from 20 to 40, depending on the size. Some people make big bliss balls, but probably better to make them slightly smaller. Yeah.
Excellent. Really good for the kids' lunchbox. Great for you. Great to have if you get that 3 p.m. energy low where you need something. Don't reach for chocolate. Make sure you've got something delicious like this to give you that easy, healthy boost in the afternoon. Well, it is time for us to head away. I just checked the news feed finally. Sharon Atkins said, I've made them and they are great.
Oh, good. There you go.
And Linda Paris said, I think it's time to replace our food processor. I totally agree. Now, speaking of which, we do have a special offer for you, Linda. So here's the details for you right now. You can head to the Kenwood-newzealand.com website. Your coupon code there is 30minmixnz. You can place your order online and you'll receive 20% off selected food processors. It is for a limited time though, Linda. And anybody else watching, you need to head to that website right now. This is the set we're using today. This is the one I'm going to be ordering because I've fallen in love with it. I love the fact that you can put all the blades away in that safety container, so you're saving some space. They're not going to be rogue in your drawer. They're going to be tucked away nice and safe, especially if you do have younger kids in the kitchen. Amazing set there. Everything from your smoothies to your hot sauces, your soups, your Asian style slaw. You can do it all super easy, just like Claire did. And finally, here's one last look at your special offer. Limited time only, remember that, 20% off selected items on the Kenwood New Zealand website. 30min Mix NZ is your code, so head there after the live stream right now. Go and have a look, go shopping, and that'll be delivered to you very, very soon. All right, it is time for us to go. Thank you guys for popping into the stream. You will see this video again, so if you've got any questions, just write your questions in the newsfeed below, and Claire or the Kenwood team are more than happy to share some answers with you. Claire, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, it's been fun. Thank you.
I love it, and I can't wait to get my own Kenwood mixer in my kitchen. I'm super excited. I'm going to use that coupon code. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to Pete Ward, who is our producer and director behind the scenes today. And thank you guys for being part of the stream. Thanks for your awesome questions. Keep an eye out for those recipes. And please, if you've liked if you like these recipes, like and share this live stream as well. All right, time for us to head away. I'm Monique Bradley. This is Claire Turnbull. Ka kite anō inohora. Bye.